Ja aloittaa heti alkuun. Pussy boy! When I got a tiny skirt.
Oikeesti ei jänni.
We are rolling.
Are we rolling?
We got this.
Tolle tunnistaa kuka ajanut pihalta.
Damn, son. Damn, son. As you can see, shenanigans happening. Always the black man. Always the black man.
I just noticed. I know it's the beginning, but I just noticed that we're sitting like like
The evolution. It's the evolution, my brother. It's the evolution, my brother. Hey, welcome back, everybody. This is Opinion Outlaws and Buggy.
Just a moment. I got you.
No, you should do the introduction, actually.
Wait. If I remember the line correctly. So we're Opinion Outlaws, and the only motto we got going on is that you cannot say that.
Okay.
Did I say it wrong?
Yes. The only thing you cannot say is you cannot say that.
Hey, I haven't practiced this, so come on.
Hey, but do you know what's the interesting part? I'm the only guy who hasn't budgeted it.
Oh, really? You be saying it all the time.
Of course, I practice. I always brag and I always practice it.
Practice. Are you like every single evening at the
shower,
like
Mm,
the only thing you cannot say that.
This is an offensive to me. It's almost every meal.
It's your lifestyle.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
But yeah, hey, welcome back. Last time we spoke about money, about how it was created, how the money will diverse people from the groups to groups. And today we have a guest. Welcome. Welcome to our podcast. And you could introduce not to us, but to the viewers. Who are you? What do you do? What kind of hobbies do you do? What's the interesting thing about you? Or do you have any interesting things about you?
Supposed to have an interesting thing about me?
Maybe you can.
You were selling crack while you were 13, and you were doing some nasty shit while you were this. And
That's in the past, see.
hey, that's what we want to hear.
All right.
But
So,
yeah, hey, welcome.
So thank you very much for having me today. A very short introduction is going to be my name. So my name is Ahmed. Or Ahmed is the right way to say
I
it.
already know somebody there screaming. Oh no!
Oh no.
Not a terrorist again. They already have a one black guy. Now they just added Arab. God.
Now there's an
Now
Arab
you're
in there.
No, I'm just be honest, cause I know certain viewers be like, oh shit, no, what they're planning to do, man.
Well, it is what it is.
But all jokes.
Yeah, all jokes obviously, but so I'm not a terrorist. Yeah. Well, so yeah, my name is Ahmed. I am from Iraq originally. I'm 28 years old.
28.
I'm 28. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought you were also like 26, some shit like that.
No, I'm 28 at this age.
He's about to get married this year.
And I mean,
You gotta leave it up.
I wish I'm getting married, but there's no one. Inshallah.
I'm waiting my turn too.
Yeah, stand in line, bro.
Stay in line.
Keep it going. Yeah, he's not even 25. You know that.
No, I'm 25 next week.
Yeah.
Next week.
Next week.
Happy early birthday.
But yeah, happy birthday.
Yeah, you
Happy
Scorpio, look at you. Well, actually, today is my brother's birthday.
Oh,
So
well, happy
that's why
birthday to
I'm-
him.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Ali. Yeah.
Big
so-
Ali.
Big Ali, yeah. So what else do I tell about myself? I've been playing volleyball for quite a while now. It's one of my favorite hobbies that I've been doing. And I've been living in Finland for the last 9 years. I'm originally from Iraq, but I did not grow up there. I grew up in Libya and also in Jordan. And then I lived in Iraq for a little bit. And then, so moving around has been like a thing of my family, which my family couldn't stay in a place for so long. You guys can ask me something. Help me with my introduction.
Yeah.
Yeah. About the moving around, like, was there any specific reason why y'all were moving all the time, or?
So initially, obviously, we left Iraq when I was like 1 year old, and that was just because of
Ancient times.
Ancient time. Yeah, 27 years ago. Yeah, my parents just found out that, or like figured out that like the situation in Iraq is not that great, so might as well like move somewhere else, start a new life, have a better future for the kids, which is me and my brother. And my father like started looking for jobs abroad, and then at the time he did find a job I think in UAE, United Arab Emirates, which as many people know is Dubai, but it's not a country. It's not the country. So yeah, then he moved there for a bit, and he found another job at the time, and then we moved to Libya, all of us, and we stayed in Libya for 15 years. So initially, basically money, as today's topic, but also like the situation in my home country has never been ideal. Technically, it's been always going downhill, and it still is quite bad.
So basically, you lived first in Iraq, where from there you moved to Libya, right?
Did you say like Jordan?
Yeah, so we moved. Well, the actual timeline would be like that. We moved like from Iraq in 1997, and then we stayed in Jordan for a few months, and then from Jordan to Libya in end of 1997.
Okay. From there, Libya, you moved to Finland. So what made you move from all the places to Finland?
What made you move to Finland?
So
I've been asked that a lot. Like,
Yeah.
why did you come to Finland specifically?
I wanted to be white.
That's what we all Finnish people want to know.
But why
I
did
want
you
to
come
feel
here?
how it'd be to be white.
Out of all places, Finland, why?
Yeah, so
Take money.
the actual timeline, just so there's no holes in there, that like after Libya I moved to Iraq, and so I moved to Iraq when I was like 15 years old, and then from there I did move to Jordan, and then in Jordan we stayed for like a few years, and then out of Jordan is when I moved to Finland in 2015. So between like 2012, 2015, I lived in Jordan, and at the time I was like doing my high school. So at the moment I finished high school, my parents have always like had a plan to you're gonna study abroad. And so at the time, like the best thing that I think my parents figured out, or my mother at the time just decided to do, is that okay, we're gonna move somewhere where we need this place to be like accommodating for both of us, so that like my mother is moving with me at the time abroad, and we needed a place that's like pretty much great at education. And so for some reason Finland has been at the top top charts of like education system levels in the world. And so technically also at the time Finland was taking refugees, so I did move here as a refugee, and it was basically the two choices so this place needs to be safe and it needs to be good at education. And so Finland was quite at the top. Sweden was a second for us, but we chose Finland.
Imagine if we went to Sweden.
You know, at this point, since you've been living here for 9 years, you should know that Swedish people are always the second.
Damn, son.
They're always the second.
I wouldn't put them top 3 anyways. So.
But they're always after Finland, so that's the point, all right? You should know that about Sweden already at this point.
That's rough.
But like the next question is like, so you moved here for education and safety, which I think that's pretty true, that Finland is pretty safe and we have pretty good education. So, yes, for the most part.
Planning, my man. What are you planning?
We used to. Come on, let's be honest.
Yeah, well, let's go there for now, at least. But anyway, so when you moved to Finland, what was the biggest culture shock you noticed first off when you moved here?
Oh yeah. Let's see if you had the same similar type of.
I mean,
what time of the year did you actually come to?
Like September. It was actually the 31st of August was my first day in Finland.
I came at the springtime, so the grayish season. I was like, hold up, where's grass? Where's trees? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, well, I came in fall or autumn, so it was just like same.
The darker times.
Yeah, it was getting darker, and like for me, I guess the worst part about it is like it was Kayani.
No.
Yeah. So it's not a great place. I'm very sorry if anyone is from Kayani. I just haven't had the best experience there. And like
none of us have.
Yeah. The biggest, I don't know if I have like a very specific one, but the first thing I can think of is like how cold the people are. emotionally. Like he's just like everyone is like speaking monotone. They're not very talkative. I am not the most talkative person, but like I'm very sorry, Peru. But
I understand. I feel you.
Yeah,
I feel
yeah.
it definitely.
and so like it's quite tough in the beginning to kind of like get integrated. I noticed that like especially like with like ages of people like regarding the language like. I feel like my English at the moment has been like degrading since I moved to Finland just because of like I have to simplify English. I need to make sure that the other party actually understands me fully. And this was actually the reason why I learned Finnish. Like it was the greatest motivation for me that like I want to be sure and certain when I speak something that I'm fully understood.
Yeah.
And I don't want to deal with like what do you call it? Translator. Like, to just make a mistake or have that on them because that's also a thing that we have faced before.
You know how to speak Finnish? Well, what the hell do you think?
Yeah. So yeah, I would say that the biggest thing is like is the difference in like social life in general in Finland is non-existent outside of work hours.
Actually, about the how emotionally cold Finnish people are. Did you notice it when you went to bus stops and people were like 6 meters away from each other, and you're like, what's going on?
Yeah. It's like it was like kind of interesting. Like I even like pointing that to my mother. I was like, why are they standing so far? Do you think that like the like there's something wrong at the bus stop? Like why are they like separated first? And then like nope, it's just like the moment the bus comes, then they start slowly walking together or like form a line. But
It was the rule if somebody took the seat under the because the bus stops usually had like a shelter, a shed or type of shed. If somebody took the seat over there, everybody avoided that seat at that point. Like you could start like measuring the distance from everybody. Like the guy who's sitting at least 6 meters to the left and 6 meters to the right.
This is the no entry zone.
No entry zone. This is my space.
Yeah.
Great. Or do you have?
Oh,
I don't know.
you said
Still-
great.
No.
You can
Yeah,
ask me more.
that's
if
how
you
you
want.
feel always about Finland. Great.
Of course, because you come into a cold place, you expect a little bit of coldness. Can we say it like that? Yeah. But it's an interesting, I would say, perspective when you look at it. When even Sweden, for example, or Norway, or Iceland, is it called Iceland?
Why the hell did you come all the way there?
Why I'm saying is that those places also are cold. They're not warmest place.
Canada. How
You
about
forgot
Denmark?
about
Or-
Denmark.
How about Denmark? How about Canada, bro?
Denmark, I'm not putting that so much effort. Russia, okay, let's say Russia as well. I'm not taking every country who is cold, which is cold. Come on, brother.
He just threw Iceland. God damn.
Yeah, but all I'm saying that
Greenland.
Oh, jeez. That's actually the weird thing. They call it Greenland even though it's like the iciest place.
It's like Iceland is green and Greenland is icy. So it's super funny.
Like, which shall we name it? Yeah, just cross one of them. Just randomly. Just hope for the best.
okay, what about Antarctica, huh? Did I mention that?
Is it a country? I thought we were talking about countries, bro.
But it's it's an interesting perspective to see that even in those countries, their social life, it's still different. It's more, it resembles more of that family type of or friendship type of social life. Here in Finland, like you said, when you first like come here, for example, my father, when he came here, he clearly said that the first time he met people, he thought that they are like beefing with one another.
You got issues with your neighbor?
Yeah, but think about his perspective. Big families, big houses, a lot of kids, a lot of adults, like everybody's in just one place. And then you go visit so many places and so many neighbors and all that. Then you come here and you see two people like in bus stop.
Yeah.
They are not speaking to each other. The first thing comes to mind, something like negative. Like, are you beefing with each other?
Yeah, but when you go to more like less like city area, right? Like at the land, right? There it's the approach to strangers is much different. They will be much warmer. They actually offer, it's a tradition here, we offer even coffee to some strangers sometimes. For example, if I go to some place in the land, they might, in my job, I mean, if I go there and they open up the door and, hey, do you want a coffee? They're very hospitable there. But more in the city area, they're like, yeah, who the fuck are you? Fuck off. That's a common practice,
Well, yeah, that's true.
But it just reminded me, like you said, your father said that it's almost like they have a beef or something. It's funny that you mentioned it because my parents were actually in Australia. My elder sister is right now engaged into Australian man in Melbourne. And so my sister's parents and boyfriend's parents, they were, getting to know each other there. And my mom and my dad were just exchanging something in Finnish. And my sister's boyfriend's parents were like, are they fighting about, why is it so angry? Why do they sound so angry? They were just talking normally, like, whatever, like you go into the store, they were probably just talking about some groceries, shopping, but to them it sounded like they were very angry to each other. Yeah, like, blah, 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 blah. It's exactly that. It can be taken as they're really angry at each other, although it's just normal here in Finland. We don't have those nuances in our language, so it's funny that you mention it.
Yeah, and I want to ask actually him. No, because he told what was the cultural shock for him. So what was for you when you came here? Of course, you were a lot younger than him when you came, but
How I remember it, because I came when I was 5 in 2005. That year I was about to be 6, and the first thing, like I mentioned to you, it was the grayness, because I came during the early springtime. So I was like, why? And I didn't see a single person. Like, imagine that. I didn't see a single, like, the neighborhood that we were dropped at. I was like, where's everybody? Like, because everybody were like indoors and avoiding eye contacts and all that. So I was like, did they like throw us to jail or something? Because imagine coming, because before that I lived in Egypt. So it was the rowdiest, you could hear noises while you were sleeping. You could, like, the moment you got out, you saw like a bunch of random people. And it was like, yeah, we were in the, I don't remember specifically. We were in Cairo. I think we were in Cairo. So basically, the rowdiest place. The rowdiest place. So coming to Finland, it was kind of like shocker because it was silent. It was gray. Nobody was outside. Nobody was laughing. You couldn't hear shit. So you're like, damn, bro. Like, even when you were young, you were like, damn, bro. Okay, this is what. But then after that, like, that's like my most clearest memory. Like, it was just horrible. But after like a couple of months when I got to know like neighbors and etc., it was like decent. Like, you were like, okay, so this is my reality now and gotta manage with it. And then I learned the language also pretty quickly because I had like kids we had kids in our neighborhood, so I had to befriend them somehow. So I learned the language while we were actually in same primary school with his ass. So we've been in same school, same primary school, same middle school, same high school. Yeah. Only part where we were in the same place was basically now the university and like the college stuff.
even army,
But I came like half a year later, so that's the funny thing. But yeah, we've been
Test the water.
pretty much like, hey, yo, bro, you go first. I come afterward. Only black guys, so gotta make sure. But yeah, it was like, well, don't get it wrong. Like, Finland is a beautiful country. Like, after the springtime like went by and summer came, I was like, okay, this is not even bad. Like, it's enjoyable. Like, it's not that hot, but it's enjoyable. Like, people, because somehow y'all motherfuckers, no disrespect to Puru, but y'all motherfucker, when sun comes out, y'all pop out like mushrooms all of a sudden.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, where were you all this time? Like, that was what I was wondering. Like, where were y'all all this time? But immediately when sun came out, everybody like, hey, yo, what's good, bro? You living up? You living good? Yeah. But yeah.
What after all can you really plan? Because, for example, last winter was about minus 30 Celsius degrees. So sometimes during the winter time, it's really fucking cold. So I guess you kind of understand it. But yeah, like, even we combine that with our social how to say sociable behavior, lack of that, lack there of social behavior, combine that with it can sometimes feel like it fucking cools down.
And funny thing, I don't even blame y'all because as we have the Finnish saying of kaamumasennus, kind of like a depression season, what they call it. That's the funny thing that they even have a word for the season. it's during the autumn time. Or do you call it autumn time?
Yeah.
Basically, autumn, winter, and till springtime. Basically, they call it as a depression season because seasonal depression because you have the sun rises like around what time? 8, 9, like
9.
yeah. It just goes worse. It becomes even worse later on. But you know it.
Shortest day of the year is around 9:30. So like,
Oh, don't even remind me, man. It's nearby. But as you can see right now, also it's already going. The sun is setting already. So yeah. So basically, you go to work in darkness. You come back in darkness, and that's pretty much your life for the next like 3-4 months. So you can imagine the mental state that people are in. So I don't really blame them that much. And also the language doesn't really help it at all because no disrespect to Peter again. No disrespect.
You know, he's the guy. He's the guy. Like no disrespect, but disrespect.
No dis.
to sound like you are disrespecting.
No, but
You're telling it again and again and again. I'm starting to believe there is some level of disrespect. The more you're telling me that, so choose your words carefully.
but y'all gotta give it to me, man. I've been living in Finland for 20 years, so let's say by now I have some type of experience because most of my life I've been here. So, but because and also if you speak more language than Finnish, for example, you kind of like see the difference between it. So Finnish language is kind of like very great in a way that you can use it without causing. Because nowadays we have the difference in like how you speak to somebody and how do you like communicate with certain people. But Finnish language is so neutral that you cannot like cause like disrespect unless you want to cause disrespect to somebody, like call them names or so on. So yeah, the language in itself is very monotonic, very like dull. It does not have personality in it, in a sense. So when you speak to somebody, you're not even sure if it's speaking to female or male or a dog.
That's something I really kind of was like confused about in the beginning as well. It's just like because like once you start to learn the language, you know like if a third person is telling you about I met my friend, and then you would have no idea if that friend is a man or a woman. And then like even with the names, I still struggle sometimes to understand which name is a male or a female. Because like for example, I'm bringing an example right away, like the name Hannu. I swear. Like Bachit, please, Hannu. If you don't have previous knowledge, what would you say? It's a lady or a man?
I don't even know what Hannu is. Like,
so what would you say? So if you don't know, what would you say?
well, it's kind of difficult right now because, like I said, I've been living in Finland for 20 years. But Hannu is not even the worst one. It's example. There's the certain words that they call it like a neutral, but you can clearly like feel it's more like a female type of word, and it's used like. Onni, you know, you get onni. Onni is kind of like, is it neutral in a sense? Or essi?
It's leaning a bit more male side.
Yeah. Weirdest thing I saw this week was a guy having a name that sounds very female-y, but it said is a neutral word. Essi.
Who is Guy Essie? What?
No, okay, Essie is a girl though.
It's a girl.
It's a
But
girl name.
I found a guy has it too.
How?
Don't even ask me how, because I was like, hold up a minute. Because there's like certain words clearly that are like classified as a neutral, but you can feel that it kind of feels more, you know, if somebody calls you that, you're like, bro, dang.
I mean, because
But Hannu was, to me at least, it felt more like, well, I wouldn't necessarily masculine, but kind of like, oh yeah. And have you noticed like certain names makes you feel that it's an old guy? Automatically, like if somebody calls you Pekka, I don't see a young kid being Pekka.
That's true. But like, yeah, so Hannu is a male name, and for the longest time, I just struggle like, okay, like, you know, you're going to an event, like the organizer is called Hannu, and then you show up there and there's no lady, and you'll be like, I'm sorry, who's Hannu? I was like, what happened here? It's me. Yeah, but like also we have those like gender neutral names in Arabic as well. Like I can think of a couple of names, but like usually they are like an adjective to something. Like for example, the name Nur, which means light or shine, like, you know, light rays or stuff. We have that going both for a man or a female, and then at the same time it's just also like the same struggle, like if you just read the name.
It's much more less, because in Arabic we can clearly know, like, differ the genders in the like sentence.
way more easily, way more easily.
Yeah.
Everything else is like in the language that like with prefixes and
Masculine and feminine words.
yeah, exactly.
So, because trust me, if somebody's talking about females, you know they're talking about females.
Exactly.
Yeah. In Finland, it's interesting because, for example, you cannot say she or he.
Yeah.
It's still just the
It's
word
they
han.
or han.
Yeah. And you, like you said, friend. Are you now, because for example, in my language, if you call a friend, you know, is it a woman or a man? Because it differs. The actual word for a man friend and a woman friend is different.
Yeah.
It's not big difference. Shoche, a female friend. Shok, a female guy.
It's quite different still, yeah.
A friend But you can see even in the language you don't you couldn't understand that, but still you automatically assume that okay, it's more of a masculine than shoche. So the Finnish language is in that interesting. But here's my neck question.
Nick. What is the Nick?
How was it the experience for you to learn a new language when you was in teens or you was an adult?
I was 19, yeah.
An adult, yeah.
Technically,
Because
you still
you-
are counted as a kid.
Still a teen, yeah.
Because the difference between you two were that you came here as a youngster. So learning a language, I would personally believe that it was easier in a sense for you.
Way easier.
But also, I don't know if you noticed, the Sudanese, they have this talent that they easily get the language.
Go ahead.
brother. I don't know if you have noticed lately, if you met an older Sudanese person, well, of course, it depends on the age as well, at what age you learn the language. Because in my situation, I was 5, so adapting to a language was pretty easy. Like you can like absorb the information. But tell me right now to relearn, example, I forget the Finnish language and learn it again. I could believe how horrible it is. I could believe.
So that's why I'm asking.
Yeah.
How was the experience for you? And how long did you take it for you to like, okay, to be fluent, but more so to be confident that, okay, I understand the language and I know what they are saying to me?
So this is a tough question because like I can touch on the latter question of yours of being confident and stuff and say I am still like not so confident with my Finnish language skills.
Really?
Like I am confident enough to have a casual conversation and like live my entire life in Finnish and like do pretty much everything. But for example, let's say like, hey, write your thesis in Finnish, I would not be confident.
Yeah.
In that regard, for example, like in like very formal stuff.
That formal kind of text is
Yeah, and although like writing I would say is usually easier than speaking because you have time. You can take your time, you can research, you can look up for words and stuff. Like actually last week we had a video shoot with Ideal and I told you like I was not confident with my Finnish language skills.
This week.
Even though was it this week?
Yeah.
Well, it was.
We were actors.
Oh,
It's Saturday, so we were actors. Yeah.
You don't know.
Yeah, it's a secret for now.
There is a premiere actually.
All I'm saying, there was no leather couches to be used in that photo shooting or video shoot.
That's
No leather couches, okay? No, it was for I don't know if we're supposed to say much.
It's a secret.
It's a secret for now. It's a secret for now.
don't leak
No,
knowledge. Come on.
nothing. Yeah, so for me, with the language is like so I've always been kind of talented with languages. But I obviously I've only spoke 2 languages until I moved to Finland, which were like Arabic as my mother tongue, which I was kind of terrible at school, like grammatically.
I don't blame you.
I'm
I'm
not that
also
good.
horrible at Arabic.
Yeah, it's really tough. It's really hard. Yeah, one of us. Yeah, let's go.
He said, me too.
Yeah, and English as like what I would call like talented is like for me is English is like I kind of had like a good understanding of English grammatical rules and pronunciation wise quite good since I was a kid, and that was always a struggle because actually in Libya they didn't have the best education system and the teachers were terrible. Like most of the time I can speak better English than my teachers at school, and then they are the ones trying to teach me and I'm just like okay. Do we have to post? Yeah, we don't have to post. Just the video. You don't see us anymore. It's like, are we just gonna swap?
I will just go check. Because I'm like paranoid. Did I forget my keys?
Well, it's good to check now for your keys. It's too late. But yeah, so like English language, I've had quite good before. Do I keep going or?
Keep going.
Yeah. And then, so when I moved to Finland, I kind of, as I say, like in the beginning, I kind of didn't need Finnish language. You can kind of survive with English most of the time and you can do everything you want. But like, if you want to become part of the society, if you want to integrate yourself fully, if you want to, which was basically the ultimate goal for us, is that we're moving here permanently. So it's like, I have to learn the language. I have to like fully get to know the, to be integrated into this society, to manage myself, so the like official paperwork and stuff to be done in Finnish. So in the beginning, I actually didn't have much of a chance to learn the language. I didn't have people to talk to. I didn't have, surprise, 'cause
A bit harder.
yeah, everyone is hiding in their homes.
Kajani?
Yeah, Kajani for 3 months only. So, and then like kind of I got, I would say, maybe lucky with like that like my paperwork because I came here as a refugee, so like the refugee status was quite short for me, as like I got my residence permit decision made within like 8 months of my arrival. So that's very decent at the time. 2015 was a rough time. And so after that, then they started this integration plan, which included Finnish language, Finnish laws, and like something about the culture and stuff like that. Like this koteutumissuunnitelma, what is that in English? Koteutumis is like
In-house.
integrating plan. Yeah, integration plan. And so with the integration plan, like I was basically doing 6 hours a day, 5 days a week of Finnish language, which was quite intense, but it started from the basic. It started from everything. And then the first month or two was like basically teaching some people how to literally read the alphabet. So like the pronunciation is so different in Finnish
also,
language.
Remember, because in Arabic we kind of like read from right to left, and so basically in Finnish you have to read from left to right. So that combination was shit.
Exactly. So it took me actually like to get from like nothing to B1 level. I was there in like 6 months. And then after that, I started like working either as a volunteer with the Finnish Red Cross, or I was just doing like my internship at this like integration plan. Also had internship to be, integrated into the work culture in Finland, and to kind of get a hang of like being there and actually speaking Finnish. So I did those. I was like a classroom teacher assistant just with is it secondary school? Secondary school English. Yeah, in like secondary school with the students. And that was when I actually started to speak. Those kids, like, although as funny as it is, it's like they were bullying the shit out of me.
No mercy.
And no mercy. Teenagers, 15 years old, hell no.
They're nasty.
They are really nasty. But I cannot complain about that, because that kind of gave me the confidence to kind of start talking. It's kind of gave me like it's my first exposure to slang, because at the same time, you freaking learn the Finnish language as like the written language, like the formal Finnish language, and then suddenly you go out on the street and you're like, nobody fucking talks that. And so it took a while, and generally like a year where I was like, okay, I'm quite good at the language, and then I studied in Finnish language, so it kind of helped.
Question now, as a native speaker of Finnish, what do you think? What was the hardest part of learning about Finnish? What was the hardest thing to kind of internalize?
Actually, I don't think pronouncing for me is such a big deal. I am good at like repeating sounds.
Well, yeah, I can relate on that.
If you know what I'm saying,
Yo, you guys gotta elaborate on that stuff.
He on that idiot shit, bro.
He said it.
There's nothing for me to elaborate, bro. He's on that idiot shit.
He said it. You're good at with noises. Or
Just
whatever.
repeating.
Repeating,
repeating.
And by noises, I meant sounds, okay?
Funny thing is, actually, even though the like well, because it's usually the older people when they're trying to pronounce it. But as a youngster, if you learn if you've spoken certain language for long enough, it's much more easier for you to pronounce the difficult words. Because, example, Arabic has like certain way of pronouncing things that to Finnish person might sound hella hard. Like you tell them to say this word, and they're like kind of like forcefully say it in a Finnish way. That's why when you hear a Finnish person speak English, it sounds kind of goofy in a way. I would say no disrespect.
What the hell is going on today? Like you're taking one chance. Like, no disrespect. I'm trying to take some off.
This is personal now. No disrespect. But no, because you probably have heard it when somebody who's like natively a Finnish speaker tries to speak like a different language in a sense. They have a little difficulty because their wording is pretty much, how would I say? They say not even accent, because a Finnish language, when you write something, you pretty much pronounce it as it is. One reason why actually I say English is kind of retarded as well. English is retarded in my opinion.
Think about French then.
Fuck French at this point. No disrespect to French speakers. Well, fuck French.
For example, I've never heard somebody say your name correctly.
Yeah, because I would be surprised if you said it wrong. At that point, I'd be like, everybody retarded. But yeah, because for the people who don't really know, my name is not actually Bugit, how it's written in that. It's even written wrong, actually. Funny thing, if you think about it, because I should actually have KH in my name, not even KI. But yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, so Finnish people kind of pronounce words as they are written, not as how grammars are expecting you to pronounce it. So that's why when they speak English, it kind of sounds rally English to somebody who's a native English speaker. So yeah, as an Arabic speaker, for us, example, to pronounce Russian words, it's kind of easy because I've tested out. You know, our friend, the Anatoly, his mom's actually sister asked me to pronounce certain words in Russian, and I just said it out. Like I was confident with it too. Like I was like, with all those pronunciations. She was like, hold on, what the fuck? Like you could be a native speaker as well. I was like, yeah, because we have those like sounds and pronunciation that helps us like copy other words. Only reason why Finnish was kind of hard was because we had to realize like you don't pronounce the way as like combining letters like SH together to sound certain way. You just say it out as it is pretty much. Yeah. So it was no disrespect to you. Like I said, that's why I say English is kind of retarded in a way, but yeah.
Yeah, so like Finnish language is easy on that sense that like whatever is written, it's exactly pronounced the same way every time. So reading is not a big deal, I guess. It's just like...
I mean, you have seen the videos where English speaker try to pronounce Finnish words. Example names even. Yeah. They don't say Jussi. Juicy.
How about that?
Juicy pussy.
Juicy pussy, yeah.
Like, juicy pussy, what the...
Yeah, no, those are like... well, let's not go there. Another topic for another day when you might have another guest.
Of course.
Let's see. But the thing about like the Russian language is quite interesting. Like it's like in Arabic we have quite similar sounds as well, but not everything. I think the Russian has way more like very like specific sounds that are coming from the throat and the tongue at the same time. That sounds Chinese.
He's racially motivated now.
Yeah, but like the thing that actually reminded me with with Russians or just Russia in general, you know how you initially asked the question about like the other countries and like the difference in culture and the people socializing and like countries being cold. I'm gonna go back there. Like Russia is quite cold, but their culture is very different.
Yes.
Like they are like really like a big pack all together. Like think about it. Like even here in Finland and in Kuopio right now, all of the Russians I know, mostly. let's not go like all of them. But like most of the Russians.
Did you test the Russian tea?
No, forget about that. Like most of the Russians in let's say abroad of Russia, they kind of stick together as a pack, and it's quite interesting like to see that like they kind of like always together, they're always visiting. Russians as like in general like they really like their families, they don't move out of their home at a young age, like Finnish people do. Some Finnish people move when they're 16. Yeah, 16, go.
Wow.
18, they're legally out. 16 with the permission of the parent, and so like it's still like I don't think the weather has to do much with it, or apart from maybe certain conditions that they have been
Of
through.
course not.
Yeah.
I just don't want the socialize with the children anymore. Just get rid of them.
Yeah. It's
They had enough with the children.
Mark my words.
We have actually spoken about this similar type of thing in previous episode about the difference in like culture, because like in example Arabic culture or African culture, we are more focused on the unity of like if you do something, it's connected to your family, not just you as a person. Or if you did something wrong, so you automatically have that way of thinking that if I do something good or bad, it's not just connected to me, like I'm the only sole doer. It will be automatically said that, oh, look at his family, they didn't raise him right, they didn't blah, blah, blah. So you're like automatically cautious about whatever you do, whatever you say in a way. But in a Finnish culture, of course, there's some bit of that as well, but it's more about individual like way of living. If you fuck up in your life, that's very much individually you, not your family.
Yeah, it's a hard thing to do in a sense. In my opinion, it's a hard because not only you have to be cautious of what about you are doing, but also you have to be cautious, for example, that you do something, your father or your mother will be blamed for it automatically. And it doesn't go with to understand. Everybody who has this experience knows what I'm talking about. That, for example, it doesn't go like, hey, you're a bad father because your son did this. It's not like that, but it's more of a, hey, did you see Ahmed over there? Hey, did you see? Hey, did you see? He was hanging with this black guy.
Pause. What the fuck? What the fuck? You see what I mean? They're like, you're racist. Whatever. Hold on a minute. Hey, but it's true like that. It usually starts like that.
But that's unfortunate. Even I am joking, obviously, but this is unfortunate that this actually has happened. Even in Finland, even to this man, it has happened that somebody in other family said that, hey, he's hanging out with this black boy.
This nigga.
Well,
Fucking
that
gods,
I cannot say that, but
This what say
This nigga.
with that.
and they said that clearly to their parents, and then their parents was to their kid like, hey, why you are hanging with him? You know that he's
Nigga.
and it's unfortunate thing because as a kid, even when we were in kindergarten, I never looked at him like he's black. I looked at him, he's cool.
He stood out. Flamboyant.
Handsome and all people.
Do you know how many times we got messed up?
Yeah, that was the weird thing. People were like, they called me him called me. All they called them, you legally blind or what?
I mean, that has to be that they were just never exposed to people with different shades. You're not even darker that much.
And I didn't have a beard.
Yeah.
You get what I'm
I think
saying?
you were like connected. Foreigner, that's it. We don't care about
Maybe
it.
like that, yeah.
Yeah, but funny thing, you were born here.
Yeah.
Actually, that's the funny thing.
How do you see this period? Like, can you differentiate between us?
Differentiate.
Like,
I
I have
think.
enough of
Hold on,
beard.
I have to think about it again. Can I see the difference between you?
I think
How to say?
Can I get those glasses?
I think your opinion is biased. Yeah, because like you've known them for longer.
Yeah,
course,
yeah,
of
because
course.
based on my experience knowing them longer, I should have more profound opinion about it. Yeah, sure.
But now, this is my next question. I'm sorry to cut you off.
Yeah.
Did you have?
No.
My bad.
Nothing more to say.
All right.
Nothing more to say.
So this is my next question to you, because obviously now we are taking the diversity from a cultural standpoint. My question to you is, what were the things that when you notice Finnish people do that your religion or culture would look at it very weirdly? I'm not talking about like socializing, but I'm talking about more of certain things, traditions, or anything that you can think of, that you saw it or experienced it and you were like, well, if you do this in my country, everybody will look at you in a very funny way. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah. I can think of a few things, especially when you bring religion. Especially when you bring religion and culture both. But like, I started slow with like maybe outfits.
Okay.
Like as much as the Finnish culture is like preservative or conservative with the way they dress, like in general, like I mean, Peter is wearing very colorful clothes today because like generally people in Finland would be wearing like black, like basically like me. I'm just like 50. Yeah.
Hey, up with me, bro. Keep up.
It's like
Keep up.
different kind of 50 shades of gray. It's just like gray, black, and white, and like, you know, actually like it's not only about the colors, it's about like the way the people dress. Like in here you can actually wear anything. Like, okay, Halloween was a couple of days ago. If you wear like a Halloween costume on a normal day, that's
The amount of astaghfirullah you get to hear that week.
yeah, but like, you know, like if you just wear that costume on a normal day of the week, it's like really in summer. Does anyone give a shit in here? No. Yeah, but like do that in the Middle East and everyone would be like, what the fuck are you doing?
Is that little shit?
Yeah, exactly. So
It depends on the time of the day. If it's evening on Saturday or Friday, I agree with you there. Then, if you see what I mean.
But in Halloween wise, it's kind of because Halloween wasn't like a very active thing in Finland. Because I remember that when I was younger, it just became a little bit more like known and more like a
American
promoted thing.
Yeah,
But no, back then it wasn't that much. Only thing that I would say was what is the Virpomis thing?
Easter.
Yeah, the Easter. That was the only time where actually people were especially kids wearing costumes and come to your door and like, can I get a candy and etc. etc. But Halloween wasn't that much. Halloween was more of a youngster who go to clubs and, you know, integrate those kind of teams into the clubs.
How do you do?
Yeah, what do you do? What did you do 3 days ago?
Actually, I was home.
You were just home.
Yeah, I don't go outside. I don't see people. I'm very socially, would I say conservative? Well, kind of like isolated. Because to be honest, I enjoy alone time way more than being outside or hang out or go clubbing or etc. Not because I don't like people. I'm a very social person, you know, as you can notice. I speak a lot.
No.
I wouldn't say that.
I wouldn't say that. But I have like the preference. If I have the option of being alone, I enjoy being alone.
Yeah,
but
I agree.
also if there's an opportunity for me to go out, hang out with homeboys, etc., I'm gonna be there. But one reason might be the job that I do nowadays, that social battery is absolute zero. So I'm like, yeah, fuck this. I ain't coming outside. I ain't see your ass. But
I can totally relate and understand with that regard. Yeah. So like, can I just redirect your question to other people?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, for our culture, it was very weird, for example, when you go to somebody's house, for example, as a guest. Usually Finnish people, when you come into our as a guest, there is like a line of what happens. Everybody knows what's going to happen.
Timeline.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
a
basically
plan of the night,
yeah,
yeah.
like everybody knows there are certain things what happen. First, there is somebody comes up with drinks, and then afterwards it's coffee, and afterwards usually is something to eat, like lunch or dinner or whatever, and then afterwards we drink chai, tea,
And dessert with the tea.
and dessert, and then after dessert fruits, and that's it. And then we walk the guest until they are out of the house, like gone completely. Not just in Finland. It was very weird. For example, that Finnish guy or girl say to you, "Okay, bye," from the couch.
Yeah.
That was very weird to me.
That's true.
You see, now you're realizing.
Now I'm like flashbacks. So like, holy shit! Like, I mean, like our culture is very similar to yours, Arabic culture, and like I did move here as a, you know, like as an adult. So yeah, like those things, and like I still actually remember the beginning where like, you know, when I'm having friends over, I'm still the same like Arab. I'm bringing them drinks, and then like you know, opening all like my fridge, all the cabins, like where do I have food, like anything.
You touching my shit like that? Like, come on.
No, as in like I am opening to look out for food and like I just
say your friend, bro.
they do, but they do. This is actually another thing. Is it's like in Finland when you the first time you have someone over, you're supposed to give them the house tour. But at the same time, just some people are just like actually like maybe I don't know if I would say nosy, but like they just like open a cabin and look like what do you have inside here?
What you got going on.
Yeah, it's just like bro, what are you doing? Like
Smart cabin. Like, come on, let's chill down.
it's like you have cookies here. Well, yeah, now they're yours, I guess, because that's like the Arabic like generosity is like you have to you have to give the guests and everything. But yeah, like those things are like very weird and like I don't know, like borderline kind of disrespectful in a sense, like like because you're just like as you said, like you're just like buy from your couch. What? Just stand up at least, like just give me a handshake, give me a hug or something before I leave.
Now that I think about it, every single time I'm leaving, you're never sitting down. You're always like at the door.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. You can see that.
Yeah, well, it's a cultural thing, but also it's a thing that we learned.
Yeah.
I've seen like in Finnish families, it's not very common. For example, you can just say bye from the couch and the exit is somewhere very far away. But it's like that's the custom here. That's what I want to say.
Although I would like to say it varies a bit. At least to me, I was told when I was raised back in the day, my parents at least usually every time we had a guest, they would be taking them to the door. So it does vary a bit, but I wouldn't surprise if it's very common practice here. I don't know that much about it. But I would say that it varies a bit. But even to me, it sometimes feels rude when I am at, for example, a client and they're like, bye bye. I gotta what the hell?
Yeah.
So some hospitality at least a bit, please.
Example.
To that one, yeah. I kind of agree with Pyry about that because I can actually now they differ, like people who know that, and mostly it's people who live in cities, bigger cities that usually behave like that. But people who live like in a small towns and like so on, they usually have that same hospitality that they come to the door. When you leave, they also come to the door, say bye, and so for the same reason, the girl who I used to be in good contact with, but not anymore. you get who, but her parents were like that. Like every time I leave, they like come to the door also and greet me, hugs, bye, and so on. And so it was never like from the couch. Yeah, deuces, bro. Keep it up, keep blowing. Which is something you appreciate because you're like, okay, this kind of feels closer to home. Like this is how we used to, So I don't like say every Finnish person does that. It just depends on. I would say like the city kids or city people have the
City boys.
but it's in like a lot of places the same way, same type of behavior. That people who are raised or live in cities have different type of courtesy. I would say manners manners overall. But that's
Or lack thereof. Man.
or
Like their own. No disrespect.
get a poster for somebody. City kid. Respectful. What you mean?
And the thing afterwards was really made me curious, and even till this day I'm curious that, for example, how Finnish people meet with each other, how they get together, how they get married. That was no, because okay,
It was a bit weird. He was here.
this is not disrespect, it's a curiosity thing.
Come on.
Come on now.
I just assume everything is no, just disrespect.
Spill the beans.
Just in case.
But
Okay, no.
for example, you just hear that, hey, they're together. How?
Yeah.
Tell me how.
Did it happen?
How did it happen? How did you meet? Because, like you said, you go to a bus stop and there's like a line of soldiers just standing there saying nothing to each other or maybe looking at the phone. So you start to wonder like, okay, how two people meet? I'm serious. In my country, for example, because of the weddings are so big and there's a lot of human people, and especially we call it Women's Day.
Right?
It's usually in Mondays.
Yeah.
And how is it disguised? Well, basically it's disguised as when the wedding starts. It's 5 days, my bad. Mm-hmm. And in last day, when already the bride has already come into the house, the next day she will go and present herself to other females of that village. That's the basic.
Flex on that, bitches.
Yeah.
Look at this, bitches. What you got going on? Now you, me.
And basically, that's like the disguise. But the actual reality, what it is, that when females get together, they start to talk like, hey, but I have this son. He's like 28, handsome.
His cuz over there.
I have this. Like they start to chat up, and then all of a sudden they find each other like a good partner for their kid. Isn't
Like matchmaking.
yeah, matchmaking thing. That was very common in back in the days. Nowadays it's very common because you just go to a coffee or like it's very socially okay to meet new people.
Bro, you forgot the whole goddamn Tinder, bro. What the hell? You lying, bro. Ain't nobody going to know just coffee and hey yo, I like what you're saying.
But think about the percentile though. Like how many people are actually on Tinder? Like
in our country,
and like or like the well not all, even in Finland. Like even if you're saying like in Finland people are meet through Tinder. Like how about the people that are not? Because I feel like the you know the people who are like not about like just going for one night stands and stuff. They would all be like have this opinion that like Tinder is only for that. Yeah, I agree. I don't even have Tinder.
You don't even look at me.
I don't have Tinder.
I don't have Tinder. What you talking about?
Let's see your history. Just show me your history, bro.
Okay, let me show you. I don't have it.
Nah, sorry.
Alright,
Let me show you.
We believe you. Deleted it yesterday, but we believe you.
What's the other one with the...
Can you find it?
What's that called?
Grinder.
What's that? Grinder? Whoa.
Right? Where is it?
You got
Show me.
Grindr
I know,
over
you
there?
go easy on them, bro.
Nah, I don't have none. Because you know why?
Don't slap that.
Meet them at the club, huh?
No, I am a virgin.
Yeah, for sure.
God.
Cap.
You see? Even the guest says cap.
Why?
I call Cap. What do you mean why? You got charisma, man. You got the riz.
Yeah, exactly. You have too much charisma to be virgin.
Yeah. You don't have the what do you call it, the frightness of being around females.
Awkwardness.
How do you know?
How do you exactly?
Hey, how did I know? I've seen you around.
Oh, you see? Call lucky.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good point. Like, how many times do you see someone that is a virgin that's also smooth around women?
Hey,
How often?
I can at least pull the like virginity card, because okay, you can say, well, you got the playground of being black, but I'm like, yeah, I can be black but still awkward. So, but you in your situation, you cannot really pull that card. Okay.
I cannot be awkward.
No, well, they say they
Now he's trying. Now he's trying to be awkward.
Yeah, exactly. You're so good at socialize that you are able to act awkwardly, but you are not awkward.
I'm just naturally awkward.
If we are talking about awkwardness, the last person that comes to my mind is you.
From the bunch, I see how you did.
Golly, there's no escape of this tremendous
You would have
torture.
had a better chance if you said you are afraid of females. Then we would at least have some. But
But the problem with that is that it sounds like gay, so it's hard to say. Because I am attracted to females, but
Oh, I thought because I am gay. That's what he's gonna say. He's like, that sounds gay because I am gay. Attracted to females.
plot twist. Golly. But actually, this is a question to Puri. How do Finnish people meet each other?
Please tell us.
how do we?
That's a good question.
How y'all
That's
get
a good question. But you wouldn't believe. But when you actually know you're a Finnish person, you meet a Finnish person, there's actually more going on than on surface might appear.
Oh, really?
That's actually
Yeah.
true too.
Mind
Don't
blown.
even ask me how I know, but it'd be like that with those Finnish people. I know what.
Well, I guess they sorry.
It's just weird that he knows.
Yeah, because, hey, have you ever been abroad and you've met another Finnish person? Because this is what I've been hearing from Finnish people a
I
lot.
almost killed him.
What the hell?
Yeah, I'm serious. We were in our country and he was, I would say he was acting Finnish, and now we were like, hey bro, just calm down.
Tone it down.
You're not in your country. You don't get to be what you want to be here, okay?
Damn, bro, what the hell? What the hell?
You can ask my brother about this.
Hey, but goddamn. But to the earlier one, because example, what a lot of Finnish people tend to say while they're traveling, they say that Finnish person will not recognize another Finnish person automatically without even asking if you are a Finnish person based on behavior and so of course, like he said, it might not appear otherwise what is going on in the relationship. kind of like the same what he said about the Australians or the parents and with the Australia situation. Like they're speaking about normal regular things that anyone would like talk about, like groceries or meeting each other next week, etc. But to somebody who is not a Finnish speaker or used to some different type of culture, you just hear. What the fuck? Are you good together? Are you, like you said, are they having a beef? Like, what's going on? Like, you're cool, but no, I don't know. But actually, I still want to know how y'all even meet. Like, I get it the moment after they meet and connect and so on. That's different. I get how that build up goes, but
also how does it start?
How does it?
Like, you know, like, because like you kind of meet people for the first time and you're still like kind of like what's the word?
Jitters.
Awkward face, kind of like a gray face, or
yeah, it's just like you kind of don't trust them, you don't know them, you don't know much about them, you don't know if you even like that person.
except the ones who are born. Oh, you've been always my soulmate. What? Yeah, we've seen.
That's more like, I think, when people are drunk.
Oh yeah, true. That was what I was getting at. Usually Finnish people tend to, or well, I'm not gonna even say usually, but in cases that I've been in, they tend to meet at clubs, you know, and also some of my Finnish friends have told me that the way they meet each other is by getting drunk, because getting drunk is the easiest way of like removing those barriers of a shame or fear, anxiety, etc., etc. But let's hear it from actual Finnish person. How the hell do y'all meet with people? How do y'all befriend actual people?
It's such a fuck around question that I don't even know where to start. How do Finnish people meet? That's a very good question. But like to me, like I guess there's first off, I think like there's a stigma, like just because there is that kind of norm. There's that norm that if you are at the bus station and you see Finnish people there in the row, there's an invisible rule that you shouldn't talk to either of them. But you know, even I have, because I do a lot of social work in sales. There you have to interact with a lot of people. One time I was actually fetching keys for my apartment from my office. I was moving out that day, and there was a row, so I figured in my waiting time, I figured to actually initiate a conversation with a girl, and surprisingly so, it went pretty well.
Mr. Rizzler.
But the point is, like, my point is not to flex, but the point is to kind of bring out the fact that just because I actually have talked about this with some other guy.
No disrespect.
See how he started it too? Like, I ain't even flexing.
Hey, you disrespected him so much, so.
You were in the board too, so come on.
Hey,
Everyone here has been disrespecting me. Come on, man.
but yeah.
But anyway, so I think like the biggest problem is that a lot of Finnish people first of all assume that just because we are so quiet, you shouldn't even initiate a conversation. So I think that's one obstacle in the way. As long as we understood that there's no harm, no foul if you actually talk about that fucking weather then, or I don't know, like whatever. Be creative about it, but it's not really. Even though we might sound very monotonous and very boring in our way of speaking, it's pretty similar to like any other culture, like hobbies, school, all social activities. Like my answer might be quite boring in a way, but it is what it is. It's pretty much how you go. But that's pretty much like the main essential things, like wherever you are, like despite the culture, despite the place, pretty much like what are the common interest, right? Pretty much.
Yeah.
Or man,
I've seen a lot of Finnish people, especially when the high school is going on and they have that dance. I don't remember how it's called.
it is similar to prom dance, pretty
Prom
much.
dance, yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's more
Yeah.
like prom dance.
Yeah. Or maybe it's a subconscious thing, because we have monotonous speaking voice. It's the thing like, oh, you have very boring voice. I like you. I like you.
No, but actually, what I've heard from Finnish persons say, they have the behavior of like, don't speak unless spoken to, kind of like mentality. Like they do not have any subject. They do not like chit chat for random sake.
Yeah, like exactly. Like actually, I talked with one of my Finnish friends, and he said the same thing. Like he doesn't want to like invade into anyone's privacy. He feels like he needs to respect it, and that's actually good, because I wouldn't want to be always talking with every single person on the street, right? It might at some point become very exhausting, because I'm also that kind of guy who wants his own private space at points. So I wouldn't want to be like, every single place I go, how you doing? How you feeling?
Very like American.
Yeah, exactly. Like, hey, how you doing? How you feeling? Is everything good, honey? No, please.
Fuck yourself.
I feel like what you said kind of like brings like my understanding of like you kind of want to maybe like treat others, or like like initiate conversation with others like the same way that you want to be want other people to do that with you. So like if you don't want anyone else to kind of initiate a chit chat, like a small talk conversation with you at the bus stop, then you kind of wouldn't do it. I feel like, at least for me, it's the same. Like when I feel embarrassed about something, or like I found this very awkward at the moment, is when I kind of like it's like I wouldn't want another person to do this to me, so I'm not gonna do it.
Yeah, I see a point there, and I guess that's the thing. Like, they don't want anyone to feel awkward, and I guess that's fine. I find that totally understandable. But even if you start a conversation and they end it abruptly, like, yeah, it's beautiful weather, yeah, that's the conversation. No, you don't need to force it on words, right? You can just leave it there, and then, okay, fine, have a good day. Yeah. Pretty much so.
Yeah, it is. It is interesting because the prom, what I mentioned, was maybe the only moment that I saw that Finnish people got together and they stayed together afterwards.
Yeah. Oh, what do you mean by that?
Yeah, I've seen that happen. I danced 3 times. You know that?
With the same person?
No.
You're calling yourself virgin.
He's got game.
Hey,
And you are calling yourself virgin still.
I am a virgin.
Of course you are.
And you know how it happened.
No, I don't know.
Okay.
Please tell me.
So basically our high school, just like any other high school and any other college actually, here in Finland, it's more predominant females. There are more females than men. And then as us two, we was in the same high school. It was more towards arts. So you can imagine what kind of men are there.
So, can I just say it? Non-manly men?
Non-manly men, exactly. Like very...
Sorry, non-muscular.
No, they were actually very feminine men. Like, and many times with my friend over here, we wanted always to say like, "Are you gay?"
Or why are you gay?
Actually, I did it to somebody once. I actually say straight up like, just post over. You gay? You gay? Like, are you gay, bro? And that motherfucker got offended. Let's say like that, he got offended.
It was his fault. It was his fault. If you are groomed, you have makeup, you walk in a certain way, you dance like a ballet. Of course, I'm gonna. And your voice, if your tone of voice is very like high pitch and it's not like it doesn't demand anything. It's just like females. You automatically assume that okay, you're gay. But
Why you gay?
but I'm not blaming him because he actually was.
From my background, bro, we all like y'all probably have seen the jokes of why you gay. Yeah, that ain't even a joke. That is actually how certain people behave. And coming from that background, I was like, automatically like when I saw certain behavior, like of course I accepting it, like be who you are, but you gotta also accept where I come from. And I'm like, damn, bro, you move like that, huh? Just yeah.
And basically, the problem was that when the prom came, there were a lot of females, but there was not a lot of guys. So therefore, the guys who were like, the guys who were a little bit like manly men, it was, I would say, high demand.
I mean, I can't. Hey, you remember me? My only issue was actually back then that I would have. Damn, that's out of the road. That's not wrong. Now I wouldn't say issue, but my situation back then, because I was in a relationship, long-term relationship back then, so I couldn't be circusing around like he was.
I wasn't.
Okay.
Motherfucker, you said 3 times. Only time I got in it was, you remember?
Last time. Yeah.
Last time? My current girl that time? few more other people as well, and teacher as well. Game was strong.
Yes, sir. And like even he knows that it was so high demand. He was in a relationship, but there was
Even more low supply.
think about that. Think about it. He was in a relationship, but still there were women who said, "Hey, come dance with me." So it was like that. Think about
I like how you do it.
and my first year, I had this. What's the called when you have 1 hour in between the classes?
Kind of like a
We say jump, but it's not
It's like break.
Longer recess. A bit longer.
long recess. And I was in that, and I didn't know what to do, so I was juggling the ball, football ball, and
Thanks for clarifying.
I cannot say I was doing nothing. So, and I was doing that, and there comes this a pretty sweet lady. Can I say it like that? It's a pretty sweet lady, and she says, "Hey, are you coming to prom?" I'm looking at her. I'm a freshman. This is my first year. I already started my first year, my first semester, and you're asking me to prom. How does that work? And she said to me, "No. It's just the thing that in this high school we don't have a lot of guys, and I need a partner. So therefore, are you coming with me?" I was like, "Well, I have to make sure, but with the counselor that we had, Oppo." And I went to her, Hetty, you remember? Shout out to her. She was a G. She didn't care. She just,
we talked with her a couple of times.
of course.
We made like
And she put me in the class of prom. Basically, it was like a, what's it called? The PE class.
It's kind of classified as a PE class.
Okay. I
And-
don't know what the specifications are. But...
Or kind of, well, not class, but course in a sense.
Yeah, in a course, in a sense.
You get a grading for it and all that.
And I went there, and then I was like, huh, I'm the youngest guy over here. Because I was freshman. I was the youngest guy over there. So I was like, what am I doing here? But then I started to dance, and even the teachers were like, well, you dance pretty good. What's up?
Do you, huh?
They put me with the second partner.
Unfortunately, I was there.
And you know what I'm talking about. They put me
There as well.
they put me with the second partner, not only that year, but the next year.
Oh.
And then the year after that when we danced with him.
Good time.
So you were an expert by the time it's your year.
Brother, the next year I got a 10. Like they were like, okay, bro, you can dance in your sleep, so you good. But that's why I danced 3 times prom.
I see.
I just danced once.
You see what I'm saying?
But, you know,
The damn
the black charisma, the cha-cha-cha, paya. Hey, that was proudest 10 I've got. You know, especially when you even dance with the teacher too. On top of that, that's just game strong. You know.
That was the easiest 10, I would say.
Actually, that was You didn't really need to do any extra. You just put your charisma, your moves in it. That's it. It was blessed. But I got to hear a lot of complaints about it later on. You know, as a relationship guy,
Oh, yeah, he got the worst of it.
I got the worst of it. I didn't. Oh, so you behave like that, huh?
Like that, huh? So, I must ask. No, I will not ask that. But to my next question.
You got questions, huh?
Yeah, of course I got questions because it's interesting that we have someone who has different perspective that we do. We all have been living here since the childhood. He's not. So my question. You go back in time, 19-year-old Ahmed comes here. What do you say to him? What kind of advice do you give him?
Don't put me on the spot like that.
God damn.
That's tough. That's really tough. I really gotta think about that one.
Hey, you gotta remember, he lived in Kayani on top of that, so
Yeah, but like I moved out of Kayani after 3 months.
Yeah,
to
but
Rahe.
that's why I'm saying tips. The
get
thing
out,
that he
get
knows.
out of Kayani faster.
Are we just thinking in general, or just to be a better me, or just to
No,
be like...
I'm talking about more for adaptation in this culture. Because it's easier, for example, to say that what I would say to my 15-year-old guy, ideal, Of course, I would know what to say, but I'm more talking about the cultural side. That what would you say to Ahmed that okay, do these things and you will get easily more integrated in this country called Finland. Did you have something?
Please give me a break. I can. Okay, I mean, with all the girl talk and the stuff that you guys have been talking about and stuff, I could think of like immediately at the time. See, like it took me like was it like almost like 3 years at the time to just even like start talking to girls and stuff. And I feel like yeah, and it was even my mother at the time was just like she kind of just asked me one time, it's like, "Hey, you dated?" No.
Mom asked you, like you good? You good?
No. And it was more like, are you dating someone? Are you seeing someone? I'm just like, no. And she was like, why? And I'm just it's just like just indirectly, yeah. It's just like why? I was like, I'm just kind of busy and stuff. And then like she kind of got the thought into my head. It's like, technically, I'm not that busy. There are girls at school where I'm studying at vocational school, and also like kind of like, I mean, not to brag again, but like 10 days after.
No disrespect.
10 days after I had a girlfriend, and it was just like, okay, I see, like, fuck it, damn, like, actually, people, like, well, some girls, like, kind of, like, how to say, like, interested, and I just never realized it.
That's game, bro.
I don't...
Yeah, game. He said 10 days later. Mama, what you talking about?
You know he has that big dick energy. You know, bro. 3 years he was like, nah, I don't have anything, and then his mother...
Just 10 days.
Wow.
Yeah, so like I would say like that, just to be, how to say, like, put yourself out there more. Don't be afraid of like what others feel or think about you. Do what we think is the right thing to do. I feel like that's like a kind of on a deeper level to me, to myself, of course. I'm not gonna dig deeper into that, but like, what? What, you don't believe? No, but not only about the girls, I meant. Like, it's like actually just like personally, like, it's just like, you know, put yourself out there. Do your best. Do as you think is the best. Don't go too harsh on yourself, because like it was a lot of. I mean, till this day, I'm still like very self-critique to myself about everything I do. At work, I've had this like imposter syndrome that, like, you know, I don't feel like I deserve that I'm here, or I don't feel like I'm doing a great job. And at the same time, like, every single person that's from management or higher, or like even colleagues, they're just like, oh, you're doing great. Like, what are you talking about? Like I had the worst like imposter syndrome time of my career when, like, roughly around 1 month before I got promoted. And then like I got a promotion, and I'd be like, oh shit, like, I'm not shit.
Do you know what's interesting?
What?
This man sitting next to me has done a thesis about
Imposter syndrome.
Yeah, actually, I have a question about it. Since you had a promotion, you said you got a promotion. Usually that's the time imposter syndrome might come up. Also, was it the other way around for you in that case? Like, so you got promotion, and then you started feeling like you're actually doing well.
So like for me, it was even before. So I was still like a junior software developer at the time, and I was still, because I think basically it was based on the circumstances, because I was placed in a team that was working on the most important project of the whole company ever, and it's like I think, was it like 40-plus-year-old company. Anyways, it's not like a startup or something. Like, no, it's a huge project, and I got placed on this like very important team, and there was not many of us. And I was the only one that was a junior. Everyone else is a senior. So they had like multiple years of experience, and there's me just be like
rookie, like, hold on.
yeah, it's like, what am I doing? And then, like, you know, like comparing myself to others, because I kind of have to, even though others say like, do not compare yourself to us, because they've been working on the same stuff for many years, and also like they're very well, much more efficient, and also they have a lot of teamwork together.
Yeah,
I came up as a junior, and I'm just like, I gotta figure shit by myself. Like, I throughout the years I learned to like ask for help more often, and get like stuff done with the help of my colleagues. But I feel like for the longest time I was just like, you know, I do things that will just take longer because I'm trying to learn them, and for a long time. I guess that also has to do with the Finnish work culture of not giving a lot of feedback. So when I don't get the feedback, I don't know if I'm doing well. And so like I felt that I was doing terrible, and like these things are like, this is a task that should be done in one day. Sometimes I need a week. Like you'll be like, holy fuck, this guy did a much more complicated task in 2 hours, and here I am sitting for like 2-3 days in a row.
Oh, shit, I'm not getting shit done.
Yeah, not figuring it out. So like this is where I felt like I had the worst part of this like imposter syndrome, that I'm not doing a great job. I'm not capable to stay around with these people. But then like over time, like when it was like kind of like that time of the year for me to just kind of discuss my salary. And so like we discussed the salary, and then they were like, yeah, and then they were like, yeah, with this like we were like thinking to also give you like to remove the junior of the title, so to technically get the promotion to become a software developer, not a junior anymore. And of course with like at the time quite a hefty like bump in salary, so it was really nice. Hefty.
He's like, I mean, you know, it's not much, but we eat it better now.
Well, it was like what 20% extra, so it's hefty.
It is hefty. There's no cup of noodles anymore.
Hey, he eating such a big lobster weekly. Lobsters weekly, you know what I'm saying? And have you noticed this separation between us? Because, you know, he just mentioned about software development. This is the group of business class, and this is the group of IT.
We didn't go by our
not
competence, but something else.
You know, at the beginning, it seemed like he was racially motivated. You know, at the beginning, you know, starting from the lighter shades.
I gotta ask, what do you mean? You said we didn't go by the like education, but something else. What where were you talking about?
We talking about how much time did you spend on the sun
Yeah, that's racially motivated.
Yeah.
when you were a kid?
Oh, okay,
So you're telling me he was closet hidden or what?
Yes.
pretty much.
You wanted to answer, right? Don't ask me. You know already.
A lot to the sun. So.
Yeah. And he was forgotten.
It's like in the oven.
You see? And people like, when I said no disrespect, you made disrespect with all night. Hold on a minute, what the hell? Hey, but actually, question to that thing: are you still working at the same company or?
Not at the moment. So not long after that promotion, there were like those change negotiations where the company needed to save 5.5 million euros, and then like they laid off 40 workers, which was like around 35% of the workers that we had. So yeah. Since then I have been jobless, but I've been working on my thesis and the university stuff to finalize, and hopefully soon I'll have something.
Inshallah. And actually, in your situation, it's actually way greater than, example, my situation, because I haven't had like a proper like, I would say like career experience in a sense. So for you, example, to find another job, of course, nowadays the job situation is absolute dog shit in Finland. Terrible, like it's horrible. Like even though if you have you checked like the websites that like show the job offers, like example Monitoria, etc. Like example Tampere has plenty of IT jobs, but answer how many of them either require way too many experience years or do not respond at all.
So for the last year, I've been applying to jobs quite frequently, and well, let's say that I have not gotten many job interviews. I've gotten one only.
I don't blame you, because even the current job place that I'm in right now, a lot of people over there also are trying to like get another jobs, and the rate of like interviews, just basic calls, is at minimum. Like they do not even get. You are in that position right now, so you know the experience.
Why are you gonna put me in
No, but like as somebody who's applying for job, like it's absolute dog shit nowadays. And also I have this one friend who also studied computer science. He graduated like long ago, and he has a job as a coder. He told me like literally he applied for a whole year for the same job, and he didn't get response until like after a year, they said, "Oh yeah, okay, you can come out." And now finally, he's kind of like being steady. But it just shows you, like, even if you get the papers and you have like the merits to show that you are actually qualified for the job, the offering is absolute dog shit. And I don't blame like the companies. I actually blame like the current economical state system overall, because businesses don't have like resources to like pay for like how would I say, qualified workers. So that's kind of like shit. So yeah, good luck to us, man, trying to apply for jobs.
It's more, what I've seen is more from this agenda of everybody is accepted, not the competence. But we have to make room for also people who are minorities.
But do they?
The thing that I am more pissed off is that we don't go with the merits. If you are willing to do the work, you're willing to prove yourself, and you have experience or you have knowledge about it, you have to be good to go, no matter what. But we have discussed this many times with you and with you. And also, I believe with you, we have discussed somewhere.
I believe so. Sounds familiar.
Yeah, that you look at your colleagues and you ask yourself, how did you get here?
I've been there a couple of times. Like, I felt like, I told them, I haven't told you last podcast, I remember saying like, the job that I applied to right now, it's not the hardest, like, come on now. But the interview, they made it feel like I was interrogated to a special operation job. And then later on, when I saw a couple of my colleagues or a couple of people working there, I was like, how y'all got in? When I felt like, hold on, they were even, like, to be honest, they were absolute shit at their job. Like, even, I'm like, how did you even pass the interview? So sometimes you start questioning what type of interviews are being held to different people as well, compared to you, like, when you're like question like, oh, you know this, you know that, okay, let me like test it out, you know, oh, okay, you this, and hold on, you have a whole half a minute or half an hour interview about like your competence, and then you see another friend like who like just YOLO, like literally, like, how did you like get in even on top of that?
I can do his job with my left hand.
Pretty much.
Or left only. Only.
Let's see.
Not both, but only.
But yeah, that's pretty much the work market nowadays.
Stuff, but the degree doesn't mean much nowadays, sadly. I mean, especially in the IT field. Like, I actually I got my job when I was doing my third year of studies, or technically second at the time. So like I was just about to finish my second to go on to my third, and then I got the job, and then suddenly I felt like, oh shit, I don't even need to go to uni anymore, because like this job actually pays much more money, and then with the experience I can find another job. So yeah, it's
well, kind of like what I say, the friend that I have, the one who also is not studying the same subject, and he said like, nah, do you hurry to the places and stuff like that. The offering is horrible, even with connections. That's the funny thing, even with connections, because a lot of people is like, you have to have the network, etc. But nowadays, even the connections are not helping that much.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying that meritocracy, where it should be that with merits, is not working. Here in Finland, I don't know the rest of the population in the world, but I know two places exactly, Finland and my homeland. These two places are places where people don't get the job through merits. They get the job usually that their father or their mother are in a very high position. And we are not talking about connections that you have friends, but more that your relative is something, and now you get that job. That's the way. But I digress to the next question to you, sir. And actually about the work culture you mentioned.
Yes.
And this is an interesting topic to you as well.
Okay, you're a victim too.
What I've seen in Finnish culture, asking for help is not common.
Yeah.
It's very hard, especially because it usually in Finnish culture, when it comes to especially work, it has this stigma, I would say. And that's why they emphasize every time you go to work, like, even if you don't know, you have to ask. They emphasize that because if you go outside of Finland, let's say in my country, people ask. They don't.
They don't wait for permission.
They just ask. Only downside there if because our nation, most of them have a big ego, so usually that stands the way. But actually, I want to start off with you. How do you see this thing? That where has it come from? And then I want to ask your experience about it. So where does it come from that in Finnish culture, especially in the workplace, the asking for help is such a big burden or a big, not an issue, but a challenge?
Part of the answer could be also, you already kind of like said it in your sentence, burden. Nobody wants to be burdened to another person.
Yeah.
Like same way, nobody want to invade another person.
Exactly. I was actually just about to say that exact same thing. Like I think no worries. You took the words out of my mouth, and no worries. It's. I think that's pretty much exactly the case. Like we don't want to be bothered, and we don't want to feel like we are struggling because that would kind of question our competence in a way. Or of course it's not the case, but I guess some people just jump in the conclusion. Okay, if I'm constantly asking their help, they're doing some other stuff. I cannot be constantly asking them questions. So of course, if you every single second are asking about something, then they're gonna think about, okay, who is this dude? What is he doing here? Like right. So I guess. It's kind of like that's my guess is that it's kind of like this kind of black or white jumping into conclusions thing that they assume that if we ask them help, it's gonna be read as some incompetence or somehow bad thing. That it shows way that they're not really up to the task, and they first try to stubbornly do it by themselves, and then they fuck it up, and then they're at the point where like, they really have to ask for help, and then they're gonna be criticized because they didn't ask for help, and
here goes the cycle again.
You see, and then they try to tell them again, please, in the future, tell us if there's any need for help. But I think that's pretty much exactly the reason why here. But I see that also with feedback in a way, like both ways it goes. That like in a way, like we were talking about feedback, you barely get any feedback. In a way, like Finnish people assume that like if things go well, you just know. Of course you know because you have been doing it yourself. And kind of like it's kind of that kind of thing. We just assume that okay, well we don't need to brag about it. You don't need to hear about it. But that's the thing because some people don't really have that good self-knowledge about themselves, right? So they don't know what they're really good at. They don't know their competence. They don't have the experience to measure that, right? So I think that's in a way it's a bit besides the point, but it just reminded me of like how that it goes both ways. That there is a lack of communication both ways. That you don't really get to hear also the most important feedback also when it's good what you're doing.
Have you noticed the pattern? At least in my like workspace, I've noticed that about the feedback when company makes changes. Usually, it's expected for the employees to like give a feedback. Like, if something's horrible, they'll be like, straight up tell the like manager or somebody in higher ups, like, man, this is some bullshit. Yeah. And I've noticed a lot of like, at least in like Finnish work like space, they have the habit of like talking shit behind the back, but never like bringing out the issue like in front of the like manager or employee or somebody like, man, fuck this, man. Who makes those changes, man? Fuck that. And later on, yeah, you like the change, yeah. This is.
I have witnessed exactly the same thing. Last year I was in a job where there was exactly that situation, and I actually called him out on that. Yeah, I pretty much directly. I didn't say to anyone specific person per se, but I did say like.
You said like Buggy. This song, bullshit.
No. But I said pretty much directly that I don't really respect that kind of behavior. I don't like that at all. I pretty much said that.
I think we did the post too on top of that. Like, to some people who like don't be honest with yourself, happy. Yeah, I don't respect y'all.
But your experience, have you worked like outside of Finland when you were in Jordan and in Libya and in Iraq?
I did for a very short period at a warehouse, just like as a teenager. I was 16.
Child worker.
Yeah, exactly. Like child labor at best. At
He
best.
jumped into conclusion.
I know. That's not a conclusion. I know.
But
I mean, it was technically
your experience in the work culture in Finland,
my experience in the work culture in Finland,
especially
I
about
think-
this asking for help.
So I've worked multiple jobs even before this programming job that is my most recent one. Yeah.
Making that bread.
You're kind of pushed to.
Kinda,
If you-
yes.
If you look like this,
Exactly. It's like not even
and your name is Ahmed, best believe.
You see what I mean?
Stanley, like
I was that, and you were that. This is not something. And my bad, you also were that.
someday.
No, he was also.
Yeah.
This is not.
Rarely.
But
Maybe not as much as you got. I don't know.
But like it
Well,
wasn't even about the money.
yeah.
It's like for me, like like the first jobs were not even about the money. It was about like the peer pressure for the community. I would say it was just like, oh, you're a foreigner. You know, I was like, you're taking our money. Oh, you're stealing our girls and money. I was like, well, bitch, fuck
Yes.
you. Do something about it then. Like or
Exactly.
stealing our jobs. Oh yeah, do something about it.
Give me the dishes.
It's like, well, yeah, I'm gonna steal it, and so like,
Steal your beach
well, and the job.
and the job.
Let's focus on the job.
Give me,
Priorities.
give me your dishes. I want to wash them.
Yeah. So like, what was the question about? About
Asking help
asking help.
in the work culture.
So like, I feel like I'm a person that kind of asks for help in the beginning quite a lot. And I don't believe that those dumb questions are like a burden or something bad to have. Like, I feel like I'll say like, oh, I'm going to ask a dumb question. I'll still ask it. I still want to know the answer. I'm kind of curious to learn. But yeah, like over time, it kind of becomes like, oh, I know I should know this. So like, and then it starts to be like, well, you kind of have two options, like a dilemma. You need to decide now. You either do it in a specific way, and there's a chance that it's just horrible, you fuck up, or you go and ask and make sure. So with like it also kind of depends on the task. Like even in Finland, I was working for like a bit around 2 years in logistics, and like I would be also like driving a forklift or like heavy equipment, so that like
Or your forklift certificate.
I am a forklift certified.
He's plugged up, bro.
Let's go.
Ladies, hit me up.
Let's go.
So like with like let's say for a forklift task, there is always a risk that you're just gonna hit a shelf and you're just gonna collapse like multiple thousand. So then like you kind of don't want to make a mistake. So like I was always very strict with like such things, and like even if I see a colleague making a questionable decision, let's say, I'll be like, hey, yo, no, do that better, or like slow down, or like lower the load, or like I would drive quite fast on a forklift, but I got never warned about being reckless at work. Like
He still did it, but
I did it when it's safe. I did it when like there's no load in the forklift or stuff. I did have one tiny accident where I dropped a pallet from 1 meter high. So 1 meter, there is damage, but it's not much. No human damage whatsoever. So
If you
that's
work, something will happen.
yeah.
So-
So there's always a risk. There's
There's
always a
always a
risk. And well, the Murphy law, if something can go bad, it will go bad. So
I don't believe in that, but
you don't believe in that?
No.
Well,
who is Murphy?
I don't know.
Exactly.
Some random dude.
You see? But no. And you are running out of time because you have the
You have to go.
next appointment. But my last question.
Yes.
A new immigrant from Iraq comes in the Finland. What would you give advice to him?
Well, don't fuck off. Behave. Follow the law. Don't be a stupid ass motherfucker. And also to to some extent integrate. I do feel like I was not gonna bring myself into this, but like just to say like from experience being kind of well integrated to kind of know the culture, to let's say not segregate people based on let's say looks or religion or beliefs or any of that goes a very long way. I'm a true believer of that like people are equal and that like the like looks has nothing to do with what this person is about. So you've talked about earlier like, oh, you're hanging out with Bachit or like,
Oh, hold on, what the?
No.
He said enforcing the subject.
I'm throwing him under the bus again. Like, now I gotta leave and you guys gonna beef it up. But the thing is just like, yeah, I don't care who like I'm seen to be with as long as I know that they're if they're good people, then they're good people. It doesn't matter how other people think. Like, and also like not to like give everyone their chance, basically. So and learn the language. Main
There you
thing.
go.
Learn the language.
There you go.
Integrate. No judges, no prejudices. Is that the right?
Yeah,
word?
prejudice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great. Anything else? Advice?
Nothing comes to
Great.
mind.
Hey, any last thoughts?
Not really. No, well, but actually want to comment on also you mentioned about the importance of being courageous and compassionate, right? So those are so you would say that those are also a few things you need to also keep in mind. I think those are things you could apply for any kind of culture, because Ideal was actually asking about how do you adapt to Finnish culture, but I think those are the things you could apply to adapt to pretty much any culture. Being courageous, being compassionate with yourself, and there was something else, but those two be respectful, pretty much decent manners. But
well, kind of like same logic. Like if it was your country and somebody came to your country, how would you like them to behave? Is the same logic that you gotta apply to yourself when you go to somebody else's country. You are not enforcing your own like behavior in that country. You kind of like adapt to that country's behavior. Of course, as foreigners, we still have to maintain how we came from inside our own box, but we still gotta be aware of like we are not in our country right now. So that's what.
Yeah, I was about to add that, like, not to fully change who you are. You might adapt to the situations on however things are happening nowadays in your life, but you never forget what you came from, and never forget the culture and the morals that you were raised upon. And another thing to add is that is like you not only that you don't change, but also like as you said, like maintain it. And we like no matter what happens is that I would say, like I can at least say for the two of us, we're kind of in like in a weird phase where like you don't fully like I'm not fully like a Finn, but I'm also not fully Iraqi because of the way I was raised or the different places I've lived. I've not lived in my home country for long, so like there's like I'm in like this
You don't
real
fit anywhere. Probably.
yeah, I don't fit. I don't belong anywhere. But nowadays, I would say I do feel like I belong to Finland more than Iraq. Even dare to say that because oh no, cancel. Yeah, but so yeah, it's like a weird place to be where you don't fit anywhere, because I would go to Iraq and then people see me different. I'm here, people see me different.
Oh,
where the fuck do I go?
You're Europe.
That's
Europe.
not a funny thing. That's actually what like a lot of people who have been raised abroad or lived abroad pretty much. You know, you get it too. That let's say you are half something or even fully something else. You cannot like fit into either side, especially as a black guy. Yeah. Ain't nobody go call me Finnish unless I'm like doing a world record, and then they might say, "Oh, he's Finnish." But like in a base to base, nobody will call me Finnish. And when I go to quote unquote home country, they will notice my behavior is noticeably different than theirs. So I don't even belong there either. So I'm like kind of in mid ground, like I am what I am pretty much. Yeah. But hey, that's what we gotta accept and kind of like, in a sense, think about it in a positive way, because we kind of like see two worlds at the same time, in a sense.
Try to make the best out of both.
Exactly.
That's my point. And glad that you said, because I have, such as you two have, the exact same experience, especially when I go to my homeland. You go there, oh, you're from Europe. Oh, you're from Europe. You're rich. You're the money boy. Huh? But then when I talk exactly like them, or even I have that slang.
Yeah.
So therefore, it kind of throws them off. Like, well, you ain't supposed to know these things. But I digress. I hate people who either have born and raised here or have been like came here, who are not Finnish.
This period. Yeah. This is just.
Hold up. Look at what I'm saying. They have been here, they have been raised here. They are not Finnish. Absolutely not. You can clearly see that they are not Finnish. They have a Finnish name, but more so, they act like Finnish people. Exactly. Like to the T. Everything. And then they get all these promotions, or even that cop, for example. Yeah, you know. I always look at him like, brother, you always have to know you're black, and things will not change until you have to understand that. So I hate when people lose that side of their own ethnicity, where their roots are, to get more chances or to get more things that they want materialistically here. I hate that. But
Actually, quickly to that. Because I gotta, always gotta fix it for the viewers. I wouldn't necessarily say I hate, but I kind of feel sad and pity toward people who are brought out here, or let's say if hypothetically they were fully raised here. And clearly you can see that they're ethnically from somewhere else. And they forcefully chooses to kind of like ignore their other side. Because of course, we cannot be fully Finnish in the sense of, I'm the same color as you, but I'm Finnish in a citizenship wise. And because I have had a couple of those people who like fully chooses to ignore their like original, their primary, how would I say, not primary, but ethnicity, kind of like they're from this country, ethnical background. They choose to like ignore it and fully cancel it out and chooses like, no, I'm this country. Like, hold up. I will get it like somebody who was adopted here and they don't really know much about their background. Like at that situation, you can't really say much. It's fully on the whoever is raising them, pretty much. But somebody who clearly has been raised by their like parents who are also from like abroad and so on and so on, and they like afterward chooses like, no, I ain't that, bro. Fuck them niggas. Because like it's we have those, like really we have those, and it's kind of like sad. Like you're choosing the side because. And one reason to that is, this is a whole different subject, but one clear reason to that is how ethnical groups is seen in this current country. For example, if you're black, how is it seen to Finnish people that black, That's why a lot of them like chooses like, okay, I'm not that side, blah, blah, like side picking, which is kind of like dumb, but unfortunate.
you sell your soul.
Yeah.
Basically. But hey, any last thoughts?
There ain't no party like Diddy party.
I'm not giving him a microphone anymore.
You said
Any last thoughts? Why you thinking that? Why you thinking that? No.
I'm just joking, but no. As last thoughts, thank you very much, Ahmed, for coming up here. Thank you for opening up about your past, and it's an interesting story. It's always interesting to hear somebody else's like background and their upbringing in a sense. Of course, there would have been way more for you to open up, but the timeline and also, because to me personally, I don't mind hearing the whole story, but you have like other things to do as well, and hopefully later on in life we get to like hear more about it too. And yeah, as y'all two motherfuckers too, appreciate you all always, but the main character right now is him. So yeah. So thank you to Ahmed, and hope to see you in the future as well in one of our episodes. And yeah, remember to like, subscribe, and comment down below, whoever is. And if you don't, your mama don't love you, and your daddy called you gay, and that's that. And yeah, try me.
Guest and the last thoughts.
Yes, so thank you very much for having me. Thanks for the invite. This was my first time also in a podcast, so I hope that it wasn't that terrible. And thanks for being interested in actually hearing all of my history and the stories and everything. Obviously, as you said, like there is way more things to share. There is way more things to talk about, and I would be also kind of like slowly interested into like getting to know you guys more. I know about the podcast, but you know, on a more
I'm the black guy, he's the white guy, he's the mid guy.
middle ground. Yeah, and so yeah, thanks a lot for having me. Maybe someday I'll come back here, pop in.
Amen.
Yeah, and yeah, I don't have much to say honestly, other than like gratitude. So thank you very much.
Yeah, and we thank you as well. You heard what this man said. Comment, like, subscribe, what you need to say. And the only thing that you cannot say is you cannot say that.
Because there's no party like Diddy Party.
Peace.
There's no party like Diddy Party. You gotta remember that. Come on, man. You gotta